Hello there, I'm Tay. I'm an indie author with a book available on Kindle. It's called Venture Below if you want to check that out. But I have an addiction to reading. So let's talk about the books I'm going to read this week. Starting it off strong with The Writing Retreat. I got this in a little free library in my last video and I read the synopsis. I was so interested that I needed to start it immediately and that's what I did. And now I'm about halfway through it and I have 100 pages left and I'm going to finish that today because oh my god, it's so freaking good. It is a thriller. Oh my god, it's so good. The premise is that it is about an inspiring author. I was hooked from that alone. She ends up going to her idol, who is a feminist horror author's home, because she is invited for a writing retreat. Some things start happening that are a little suspicious, to say the least. So during this writing retreat, they need to write an entire novel from scratch that needs to be like 81,000 words, but the person with the best novel gets $1 million book deal. So that is the premise of it. There's mystery, there's intrigue, there's people disappearing. It's so good. I am halfway through it. This is my top priority for reading. I'm 100% gonna finish this. The next book that I think I'm going to read next is this book called 13. It is 13 Tales of Horror by 13 Masters of Horror. And I got this from Goodwill. I thought that was such a steal and I needed to get it for spooky season. And I'm not really familiar with the horror genre in general, so I want to read some gothic horror type books. So I grabbed this. It's just a couple short stories. I don't know how many necessarily I'm going to be reading in this video. I figure I might as well read a couple. The next two books kind of tie together, but they're not at all related. I found this book called The Ghost and Mrs. McClure from like a local thrift store around here for like $1. I couldn't say no. This is about a woman who owns a mystery bookstore in Rhode Island and it's kind of failing, so she invites a author to come speak at this event. They kind of die on her property, so it's this huge mystery as to what's going on. She has a resident ghost in the bookstore. They are gonna end up helping her solve this mystery. That's really it. I love little cozy mysteries like this, and this one involves a ghost and I thought that was so freaking cute. That I think I will read next. This is why they tie in together, okay? The Dead Romantics. Now this book is also another ghost type story. Basically it's about this woman who is a ghostwriter for a very prolific author and she's struggling to meet her deadline because it's a romance genre that she writes for, but she just went through a breakup, so she's really struggling to write this and she has a new editor. He's kind of a douchebag to her and won't give her an extension on the deadline, but he's also really attractive. Clearly that's the love interest. Then she finds out that her father has passed away, so she needs to go back home and she hasn't been home in 10 years. She goes to bury her father and while she is there is a mysterious man standing in front of the funeral parlor. And who do you think that is? But her editor that was a douchebag to her. I don't really know what's gonna go down aside from like that fact. Is she gonna write a book? Are they just gonna fall in love? Is it just gonna be vibes? I have no idea, but it sounds really cute. This last book really has nothing to do with these other books, and it's The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now this is on my TBR because I decided it would be fun to film a TikTok video letting a filter pick my next read, and it picked The Cruel Prince. I have not read this book. I'm really looking forward to it. I read the first chapter. I really like it. I'm into it. I like the world building. Sounds really fun and interesting. I'm not really in the mood for it at this moment. That's why I have all these other books kind of first on my reading priority list. So here is my reading lineup. I think I'm gonna get through all of these this week. Hopefully I do. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the writing retreat and give you my thoughts. I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it yet. Let's get into it. A very big reveal just happened and I'm in shock, but at the same time not, because I knew it had to be somebody, you know what I mean? That was freaking crazy, dude. We need to just have like a little conversation. I am now on page 235. Putting it plainly, stuff is going down, reveals are being made, betrayals are happening, things are freaking crazy. What I will say, it's like a little outlandish, which is kind of like, duh, of course it would be. I don't know how I feel right now. Like, I'm really entertained and I'm obviously gonna finish reading this. I don't even know. This book is crazy. I have roughly like 70 pages left. What the hell? This book is so unhinged. Oh my god. What is happening? Ah. Oh my god. Okay. I just finished this book. I let it sit for probably about an hour. I don't even really know how I feel. I put 4 out of 5 stars when I put it in Goodreads. I feel like it's a lot of plot. Like, there's just so much that happens, especially in that last like 75 pages maybe, that it's just so much. I couldn't really tell you how I feel about the characters right now. I recommend this if you are a twisted individual. This book is real effed up. That's all I can really say. I guess look up triggers and different elements. I am really afraid this is gonna put me in a reading slump though. I could just stare into the distance and into the abyss and just think about this book, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing right now. So I need to move on. I tried to start reading one of these little horror short stories, and I don't know if it's just because I feel emotionally, mentally, physically drained from that book. This first story is only 48 pages, so I feel like I can crank through that. I'm already 6 pages in. The writing is so cringy. This is, I just read young adult thriller short stories from 1991. It is so cringy. Oh my god, dude. I honestly may shift gears to this little ghostly story, and if I still can't get into this, I'll shift into this ghostly story. I need to move on from what I just experienced. I came into work a little bit early so I could read some more of this book. It's pretty good. I read one short story. I'm on the second one. The writing is still a little bit hard to digest, so I'm gonna go ahead and read some more and just do my job. Let's see, what does it got? Yesterday was so much fun. I finally got to meet my long distance bestie, Kimmy. She just moved to the area, so it was incredible to get to hang out with her and to meet her face to face. And while we were together, me and then my work friend, Kayla, we all went thrifting into different bookstores and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a little book haul while we're at it. I did start one of these books. We'll get to that. First up, Kimmy gifted me this book, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. This book has been on my TBR for so long, so I'm very excited to read it. I thought it was bigger. I think I'm thinking of a different book, but I'm very excited to read this one. I picked up these two books, which are based off of the TV show Psych. If you have not seen Psych, I highly recommend it. It is so funny. This series is so good, and when I saw these books, I couldn't say no. They were $1. Basically, it is about this guy named Sean and his bestie Gus, and Sean has like a photographic memory. He's like Sherlock Holmes in the brain, and instead of just, you know, being a cop or an investigator, he decides to pretend he's psychic. So he ends up working for the police department as kind of like consulting a bunch of things unfold. So it's a fantastic TV show. I'm really interested to see how the books go. There's only like 5 books in existence for it. I had to snag them. Next up are the 2 thriller books that I got. I'm in my thriller era. So Kayla actually recommended this book to me, The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn, and it was turned into a movie, and then there was a parody movie made after it. I think I'm gonna read this and then watch the non-parody movie and see how that goes. I started it just now. I read about 4 stories in that little short story book that I was reading, and then I was like incredibly over it, so I needed to move on. Ghost stories that I had lined up for my TBR this week didn't sound very good, and I was really in the mood for some thrillers, so this is where we're at. These are probably going to be the other books I read this week. This one is about a reclusive woman who is a psychologist. Her name is Anna, and she spies on her neighbors. That's basically all that's been going down. She's just looking at them through this camera. She has agoraphobia, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very twisty book. I will give you my thoughts as we go. This one, The Death List, sounds so good. This one is about a author who starts to get these emails from a fan who turns out to be a serial killer, and he is like leaving traces of this author at these crime scenes, so he's kind of framing him for the murders. He's starting to kill some of these authors' friends. He just has to figure out who this guy is so he can stop him from doing all of this stuff. So it sounds so good. Apparently it's just like go, go, go. Like it just, the action doesn't stop. So I'm very excited to pick this one up. But I'm gonna finish this one. I'm about 50 pages in, chapter 10. That's my little book haul, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue to read. Here is my pumpkin. I made it look like,
no, it's actually like so cool,
an apple. This is what Trevor makes. We just gotta get a light in it.
I haven't seen the face yet. That's so cute.
Cordy. If I'm being honest, I'm about 213 pages into this book, but I just feel like it's going so slow and it's dragging on, and I'm starting to feel the itching of a reading slump. I'm kind of skimming, kind of not. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm really trying my best. It just feels like it's getting so slow. To be 100% transparent, I'm now on page 300. I'm fully skimming, only reading the dialogue and barely reading some of the description. This book could genuinely be cut in half. I'm low-key starting to hate it. It's so hard because like it ebbs and flows between like the most boring thing I've ever read in my life to then like, oh, something is happening, and that just keeps going on. I have like what, 100 pages left? I have to finish this book, and genuinely as soon as this is over I need to pick up another book or I will be in a reading slump. I just finished this book. I'm not even sure if you could call it that because I just skimmed the entire ending. I'm gonna give this book, I think if I said 2.5, that would be mean. So I'm gonna say 3. This isn't the worst thing I've ever read. This is fine. It was fine. The ending felt like every thriller book I've ever read. It didn't give what it needed to give for me. If you liked this book or you are interested in reading this book, go do that. Keep enjoying it. That's totally fine. It just wasn't for me. I'm gonna shift gears, I think, entirely. I can't read another mystery after that. I can't do another whodunit. So I think we're gonna switch gears entirely and start reading The Dead Romantics and just jump headfirst into a quick and easy romance that I think I will like and I will read pretty quickly. It is only 345 pages. I'm thinking I'm gonna start this, finish this in today's video, and we'll wrap this vlog up. This has been quite an interesting reading week. Hey gang, it's me, Taylor. I have started Dead Romantics and I'm on page 60 and I'm obsessed. I genuinely think this could be a 5-star read for me. I have no words. It is so good, and this is such a good palate cleanser from what I just read. It's been a while since I've read like just a good romance. This could be a 5-star read. I have a feeling it might be. Well, I finished The Dead Romantics. Okay. I really wanted this reading vlog to, I wanted to have a 5-star read. I wanted to have some really good book recommendations for you, and it kind of turned into a mid to bad reading week for me. This book wasn't awful. I did end up skimming half of the rest of it because I know I was so excited in the beginning. I think it was because I was so over reading this book. I needed something funky and fresh, and this was new. And it turned out a lot of it was just about her grief with her dad. And I am somebody that also lost their father at a very young age, so it was kind of tough for me to read, to be honest. It just was stirring some stuff up, so that's partially why I was skimming it. The other thing is that I liked the romance bits, but I wish there were more of them, if that makes sense. I found the ending really cute, and like I read all of the romance bits, but like the in-between was just hard for me to read, but then also just it was kind of dragging in those sections, so it wasn't like my favorite. Not dragging nearly as much as this one did. So in total, we read, how many books is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 books. Not all of them were bad. Not all of them were winners by any means. This I recommend if you want something that's a thriller but will keep you on your toes and make you really question existence. This is a good one for that. This is fine. This I'm not going to speak of ever again. This was fine. I read like 4 stories out of this. What I didn't vlog was I also read 2 graphic novels on my Kindle. I read them at like 1 a.m. because I couldn't go to sleep. That's kind of what was keeping me reading, but I read 2 of them. There is a series called Sheets by Brenna Thumler. I suck at names. I read the 2nd and 3rd book in that series because the first one is unavailable. It was cute, it was wholesome, it was fun. It was about ghosts, so I was still being spooky. So technically, I read 6 books. I do recommend them. The art style was incredible. I have no complaints about those. I gave both of those 5 stars because I liked them. I guess that's something great that came out of this reading vlog. I hope you liked today's video. I want to do more reading vlogs because clearly I get a lot of books and I have too many. The fun thing is now I'm gonna donate all of these in little libraries, so don't forget to subscribe. And I still have like 18 books on top of these that I need to donate already, so it's fine. That is enough for me. I really am so grateful that you were here. Put a little this heart emoji if you stuck around this long, and I will, if you put this heart emoji in the comments down below, I will reply with a very funny joke. Is that incentive enough? We'll find out, I guess. I'll see you next week. Okay. Bye.